All right, I'm excited to give you a little feedback on your project. This particular project is Logan's. Logan, I have to tell you, your photo is excellent. I like the angle that you took it at. I like that there's focus and there's out of focus, so that helps your message to be, to have a clarity to it. I really like that angle on the photo, and I think your text works really well right here because it's a dark area and it's very readable. I like your color scheme. I like that it's simple, that you haven't let it take over. You made the words very small. Um, I like that you put this red box down here, and sometimes people make boxes for no reason, but this box has a purpose because it's holding the author in it. I would make Hans Christian Andersen, the words, I would make them even smaller. And I would take the hyphen off, and that will help it to align with this strong line right there. I love that you've left all this negative. It's not really purely negative space, but I love that there's, you're not filling this up with decorations and text and boxes and stuff. So the only thing I do is just take that hyphen off, let it come over, and and maybe put a little contrast in this text. If you could do it without it detracting. Right now, the W in where is the thing that is standing out because this is probably in small caps, and so this W is showing up smaller. But I don't know that that's where you need your focus. When you do a drop cap, it means, hey, start reading here. So if you have paragraph text, then you want to do that. But I wonder if you don't want music to pop out a little bit more. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Squeeze the day. Oh, I like that. That's clever. Monochromatic yellow. So great, great photo. Great use of white space here. I think that you could use a little more white space. The photo itself has white space in it, but you've kind of filled it all up with all of these, the words and the design elements. So let squeeze stay big, but let the day, be smaller. Squeeze the day. Squeeze is your contrast, and I like that the is smaller. Make the and the day quite a bit smaller, and then let these shapes also. It's okay to have them come in, and they're nicely done, but they're kind of interfering here. So mostly it's this typography. Just bring it in, bring it together, and I think you've got a good design. Okay, let's see. So we've done Logan's. This was Taya's. This one is Alex's. Alex, I like your photo. I think you're boxing things in with your design elements. If there's any way you can, let your design elements be freer, that would be great. In other words, let this white space exist and let your design elements be less dominant. The gradient that you put on this is fine, although it doesn't really go with your old, your kind of retro typewriter. I really like the typewriter, by the way. Also, I can't tell what your color scheme is, so you need to get some colors in here. And you've got some nice options with the colors on this typewriter. So you'll want to incorporate those in the design elements. Also, be sure that you don't crowd your text to the edge. You'll need to move your text away from that edge. It's got to have space. This word needs to have space above it and to the left. These words need to have space to the left. Yeah, some good contrast here. It's a good start. Okay, this one is Joel. No, this is Jaclyn's. I'm not sure what your message is, Jaclyn. Why you have sample up here? If your message is this, change the way you see things, and the things you see will change. If that's your message, awesome. That's a great message. So what word goes up here? Is it change? Maybe it's, you know, anyway, you need something up here. Or just take this off and give me some contrast in the quote so that I know that change is your focus. Something's funny with the way that this printed. It probably should be portrait or landscape, and it's on a portrait piece of paper. So you want to lay it out so that it's 11 inches wide and 8.5 inches tall. Triadic is great. Brick, olive, and charcoal. I don't think those are the colors on the color wheel. I don't see olive. You do have brick. Brick, olive, and charcoal. Charcoal isn't a color on the color wheel either. If you're doing triadic and you're using brick, then that means you will also use lime and indigo, which might not be the colors that you want. To me, although, you know, that blue color that you've got, that could pass as an indigo, you know, with white added to it. So indigo isn't just this bright indigo, but if you add white to it, see how it mellows the color, and it turns more into this kind of color. So you might be good. Just need to relabel this, and then so it'd be brick, indigo, and lime. And yeah, you've definitely got a lime in there. So you do have to use the same color words that are on the official color wheel. I love the focus on these leaves. It's just the text that I'd mess with. I wouldn't leave Wayne Dyer over here not aligned to anything. And your design elements are fine. I wonder about having them somehow match these angles. And not sure why you have the rectangles over here and the ovals over here. I just pick one of those, and probably rectangles to match this. Something that might be kind of fun for you is to play with perspective in Photoshop. Just ask a lab assistant or come see me, and it'd be kind of interesting to see what happens if you made your text actually change perspective. Because that's what your message really is about, perspective. Changing the way you see things will change the things that you see, or the things that you see will change, yeah. Anyway, nice job. And this is the last one in this video. This is Joel's. And I'm going to make my window a little smaller so we can see the whole thing. I love all the white space in your photo, Joel. It's a beautiful sky. There's not any contrast in your quote, so without reading the whole quote, it's hard for me to know what your message is. So I would do something to add significant contrast in the quote. Also, Roberto Benigni shouldn't be bigger than the quote itself. He should be smaller. And complimentary is spelled with an E instead of with an I, right there. If you put quotation marks around your quote, be sure that the quotation marks hang off of your strong edge, because otherwise it weakens this straight line. So that this first line should come over, so the T is right here and the quotation mark is out on the side. Or you can just leave the quotation marks off if you want as well. I like that you've got a strong line here, but I do wonder about bringing it away from the edge, and maybe right aligning it, or bringing this over to the right, and then letting your color scheme, just be small down here somewhere, and then maybe not, I don't know, maybe not quite so big. The shape is fine. It's a nice contrast with the straights that you've got. Actually, this feels more like it's part of a circle just a very large circle. So I think the circles make sense. Just consider making them small. And blue and green are actually not complementary colors. So if it's complementary, that means they're opposite of each other on a color wheel. And blue and green, I believe, they're split from each other. And if you use blue and green together, then you've got kind of a split complementary with brick. So if it was me, I would really stick with, I don't know, blue. I see why you're doing green there. You do have some purple, but you might try calling this like green, teal, and blue, or teal, blue, and indigo, and see what you get. There definitely is that green component to it, and it's a beautiful photo. But don't force brick into this color scheme and ruin your photo, if that makes sense. Talk to a lab assistant and get some ideas about what you can do with your colors. But this is not a complementary scheme as it is. All right, I'll stop there and talk to you guys on Tuesday.